Welcome. My name is Nathan Emery, and I love Star Wars. You probably do too. Or you ended up here through some innate curiosity and this has no relevance to you. That's okay too. We've all been there. I recently finished reading The Last Jedi by Jason Fry, and I want to talk about it. What is this book about? It's pretty self-explanatory. It's in the title. Like the other novelizations, this one just takes the plot of the movie and throws in some extra details and hints here and there. That said, I will probably spoil the movie. I'm definitely going to spoil the movie. So if for some reason you haven't seen it, you should go watch that first. I won't spoil the contents of the book though. The Last Jedi is a very interesting movie in that Star Wars fans are completely split on it. Usually fans agree which movies are good, which are bad, what makes them good and what makes them bad. But for this one, people either love it or they hate it or anywhere in between. What's even weirder is that critics generally tended to like it while fans are just split right down the middle. If you're one of those people that hated the movie, you should probably read this. You should read it if you liked it too, but that kind of goes without saying. Didn't like Rose or Can't Bite? Yeah, okay, this book's not going to help with that, but it's got enough other details to make it worth it. One of the biggest flaws with the movie was pacing, where it lulled in certain areas or kind of got boring in the middle. The book fixes that, because it's a book. When you read the book, it can take a number of hours to finish it, whereas when you watch the movie, it's usually only 2. So in that way, books just generally tend to move slower and to have more dialogue, to have more details, and so the pacing of the book works fine because it's a book. Another big thing the film did was focus on character development and motivation. That can work really effectively in a movie, and in some cases in this one, it did. But it's also a lot easier to do in the novel format. In a movie, there's no way to put italics and show exactly what a person is thinking, whereas here you basically have thought bubbles in word form, which really helps with clearing up some of those moments of confusion in the film. There were also a lot of thoughts and motivations that weren't shown in the film that come into play here, which just adds another layer to the character development. The biggest reason you should read this book, though, are the added details and information. There's nothing that's going to add to the canon in some huge way, and it's not going to answer all your questions from the movie. But trust me, the details are worth it. You get a couple of paragraphs of background on Snoke, an explanation of hyperspace tracking, which was a huge question mark for everybody. And then there's some answers to those other little questions you might have had throughout the film. Like, why couldn't Leia sense Luke in the Force all those years? If you've read anything from the new canon, you at this point we're basically grasping at any of the little details we can to try to figure out what happened in those 30 years between Return of the Jedi and The Force Awakens, or to fill in all the gaps we have. This book won't satisfy that at all, but it can give you some more of those little details and information that we cling to in the hopes that someday it will reveal something important. That's basically the fate of Star Wars fans these days, and this book does just enough to continue that. Plus, there's a bunch of interesting bits about the Force and its nature. Jason Fry said that he wanted to make the Force like a separate character. On paper, it sounds like it could be super cheesy and one of those laughably bad parts of the canon, but it's executed very well here. We get to see the way characters immerse themselves in the Force, or the way Force interacts with nature, and it's really cool. Usually we just see the results of a Jedi using the Force, but here we get to see what it looks like to actually go into the Force. This book isn't groundbreaking. It's not like the Rogue One novelization that's going to blow you away, and it's not going to change your opinion of the film when you go back and watch it again. But it is an enjoyable read and gives you just enough new information to make it really worth it, even if you didn't like the movie. It really is just right in the middle there. It's not going to blow you away, it's not going to bore you, and it's not really going to advance the new canon in any huge way. It's kind of like most Star Wars books these days. Most of them are just good, not super ambitious, and just kind of leave you there hanging with more questions at the end. Just like I'm going to do with this video, because I don't really know how to end things.